Welcome to What Happened, the podcast where we talk about our latest chismes,
or gossip for you non-Spanish speaking folks.
crazy travel stories, hood memoirs, and food and wine.
This is an adult podcast.
So some of our topics may make our listeners a wee bit uncomfortable.
Listener discretion is advised.
And if you're of legal drinking age,
Grab a glass of wine.
or a beverage of your choice, and enjoy the show. Right.
But-
So, hi guys, welcome to What Happened, another episode, and we were running a bit late. It's all my fault. By the way, this is Lala.
And this is Richmo. Hello.
And so first, Rich's Zoom was crashing.
And then Lala's internet
then-
went down.
Yeah, so I've been having internet problems, and so they came out, they fixed it, and then another guy shows up. He was like, well, it says here that it wasn't. Is it crashing? And I'm like, no. So this morning it was fine, blah, blah, blah. Then I decided I'm gonna go lay down real quick, because he was like, it's gonna be 30 minutes. And I was like, fine. So I went to lay down. I was like, I would take a nap. Came back and it was down again. So I was like, well, damn.
Wow.
So I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna use my phone's
Internet hotspot.
hotspot. Anyway, so yeah, today what we are going to be talking about is, I don't know. Maybe you should lead
You
this
don't
since
know.
you're the one that
I'll
sent
kind of
me.
lead this. Well, there's this video out of an alien not even confronting people, but some people heard a noise in Las Vegas and they recorded, like the Ring camera or something recorded like an apparition. I'm going to say an apparition because I don't know if it's an alien or not. And it's been like the talk of the town. It's like a year old, but people keep bringing it back. I keep seeing it on the thread. I'm like, well, what is this? So people have actually looked at this video and said, oh yeah, it's not, it's not fake. It's something that's real. It's an alien. And then there was like some kind of crash in light that was actually logged by the Air Force or some kind of government authority in the area at the time. So there's like some corroboration with something happening in this video. And of course, it piqued my interest because I'm like, oh, it's just this video. And then I'm like, well, I do have some friends that are into UFOs and aliens, and they really truly believe that. And I'm like, and I know Lala and I have like touched upon it. Lala, I mean, what's your position on aliens? Do you think aliens are real, or do you think they exist in the universe, or we're not alone, or what is your thought?
Of course. I think it's the more logical reasoning because, like, I know that we as humans, we're very self-centered and we want to be like the masters of the universe, and we're like the only important people in the entire motherfucking universe. Come on, like, people, like, let's get it together. Like, stop being so damn self-important or whatever that's called. But no. However, I did see the video. You sent me a link to it, and I mean, first and foremost, why would they think it's an alien? Like, is there the first thing that, because to me, the first thing that goes to my mind is like, A, breaking and entering. Somebody has a fucking, you know what I mean? Like, I mean, I would go with the more like logical, like,
Like an legal alien breaking and entering, not like an alien UFO extraterrestrial breaking and entering, or yeah,
or
I
a
gotta go there
U.S.
because that's what people do.
citizen, because not
USC,
illegal aliens don't break in. It also U.S. citizens do as well.
you
So
know, yeah.
let's not go there.
Let's not
But
go there. But we're talking about aliens here. So,
so
I mean, they're kind of saying it was
so
camouflage.
I'm just saying, but what made them go directly into thinking that this is an alien and not like a person?
Well, I think the idea is that they heard all these things, they were frightened, and they checked the video afterwards and then like noticed this weird apparition in the thing. And then since then, as you saw in the video, and I'm going to put tidbits of the video here, you're going to see that they actually they did some kind of computations and they looked at the shadows from behind the wooden fence, and it kind of coincide. And the funny thing is that yeah, there's a shadow there, but when they do the skeleton, they make it look like this creepy monster. Well, like, how come it doesn't have like two bones, like a human? How come it can't be a human form? They make it have like three bones for the legs and make it all
Well,
weird.
the thing is, it's just like a little bleep of a shadow, which is like a circle-ish type thing. And honestly, like, in my mind, I would have just thought someone's like camouflaging themselves, like just a person,
right? I mean,
like any
aside from that,
person.
I mean,
Why
isn't
why did they go automatically to alien? Like what how? How did they
uh,
get from point A to Z? Like,
yeah,
because
that's
I would
pretty
have
far
gone
out, right?
down, yeah, like I would have gone with like if I saw a shadow, it's like, oh, probably my cat. I'm not gonna say a fucking alien is in my behind me. You know what I mean? Like
Or a
how
paranormal ghost. I mean, I could have gone with
yeah,
ghost.
yeah, exactly. And
Yeah.
actually when I was looking at it, I'm like, it could have just been a ghost. You know what I mean? Like, why
See,
did
that's
they
where I would have
think
gone.
alien? I would have gone ghost. However, also, like, why wouldn't you think just a person?
I mean, I actually think if it was an alien, he probably got lost, because Las Vegas is close to
No, but
51.
why did they go from point A to Z like in a flash?
I don't know. I mean, a lot of people have looked at this video. It's been on the Reddit boards. It's been in all kinds of things. People are looking at this video now,
But
like, well,
why
what
would
is
it
so
doesn't look like an alien? It just looks like a shadow of a person.
right?
It doesn't
A
even,
tall
yeah,
shadow of a person.
yeah, exactly. I'm like, it could just be some tall ass dude. I mean, tall people do exist, you know.
Let's say it was an alien, and then all of a sudden we have confirmation that it was an alien. What do you think it would do to everybody's belief in religion? Like, how does it fuck up the world order with like a like, because we've been talking about discovery of aliens for like on a couple of shows, and it's people's idea. But like, if we had hard confirmation that it was an alien, how do you think, like, because everybody believes that they everybody's got a god. Like, I'm not and I've said this before, I'm a spiritual person, but I'm not a super deeply religious person, and I respect everybody. But like, all of a sudden you have an
Not
extraterrestrial.
super religious, but slightly religious.
Spiritual is what I want to say. I'm spiritual. I want to believe I have a good moral compass. But what I want to say for those folks out there who believe in a god or have a religion, how do you think it would affect your god if there was an extraterrestrial that was like made contact? Would it turn everybody's world upside down? Because all of a sudden it's like, wait a second, this wasn't in the Bible, or this wasn't in this or that, or I don't know. I'm not a theologist. I don't study all these religions, but
I don't
all of a
understand
sudden,
why it would negate a god, like just because they're aliens. And how
well,
would it
because well, I don't know, because some people believe that that they're the ultimate, like their religion is the ultimate. Well, I don't know how some people
that
you have like right.
egotistical, we are the
Yes,
only, once again,
yes, yes.
self-importance. Mhm.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden you have this extraterrestrial alien, something otherworldly, something that is not from our Earth, and then they're powerful, they're smart, they got all these other things going. How do people accept? I mean, I'm just imagining how it would turn everything upside down with, you know, like, I grew up Catholic, my mom took us to a Catholic school, and I went to a Catholic church, but it's just like, how, like, wow, is, well, what's going on? I mean, it would probably throw everybody in like I don't know. I don't know. What do you think? I don't
I
know.
wonder what
I'm
would
just trying to
happen
think
to
the
the
impact.
priest.
Yeah, like, what are they going to say about
I
this?
I
Well,
guess I guess in my mind, like, well, when you say impact, okay, so I was thinking about it, and I really was thinking, why would there be an impact? But
it would be
I
an
guess
impact.
because I'm not brainwashed, like I'm not like religious. I don't have,
Lala
I
believes in
don't know, I
science,
guess. Yeah, and
like hard
like
facts,
quantum
right?
physics. Well, just quantum physics, like quantum physically speaking, yes, it could everything is theoretically possible, including God. So, so that's I'm like, well, yeah, so okay. I mean, for me, it would not like blow my mind away. It would just be like, oh,
Oh
yeah,
yeah, I
cool.
saw him. His
That's
name is
I thought
Pablo
so.
from Planet
Yeah,
XRP,
he's
or
the homie. He's Bibble from Dave Chappelle.
but I mean,
Bibble, like
I think I mean, and people talk about it, and I don't know if it's throughout like the years, we're getting little tidbits and things are coming out just to prepare the society as a whole as to not to be shocked. Because I think there's people who will not be shocked. Like I wouldn't be shocked. I have
I
friends
wouldn't
who
be
are part
shocked.
of like UFO clubs or like MUFON or
Fan
there's
clubs or what?
yeah, no, they're UFO like call them UFO clubs. Like, there are people that believe that there are other things out there and they're actively searching
Are
and,
these
and doing those
people
things.
religious?
You know what? That is a very good question. I am gonna,
Because
that
I
is
would
a
have
very
to
good
say
question.
that would be definitely the demographic that we would want to ask. If that would change, if they are religious, then how do aliens fit into their religion, whatever religion they may be? You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
how does it
Is
fit
it gonna
into their religious world? Does it fit into the,
yeah,
or how are they fans and also be religious? Like, how is that even possible? You know what I mean? Because
right.
I've noticed that a lot of religious people or religion doesn't believe that there was aliens. And so I'm like, okay. So I'm assuming that it would be the same for, I mean, dinosaurs. Did I say dinosaurs, aliens?
No, you didn't say about,
Anyway,
but yeah, like well, we have physical proof of dinosaurs because we have plenty of
yeah,
dinosaur
but they
bones
still
in
negate
museums.
it. They still deny that they're,
There are people that deny dinosaurs. What?
yeah.
Wait, are they
Religion
the flat
denies
earthers?
dinosaur.
No.
They,
Wait a second.
yes, yes, because
Wait.
they don't believe in evolution or that there was no, that like that does not exist in
Oh,
religion.
I see.
That's
I
what I'm
see.
saying. Hello,
Wait,
come,
how can they?
dude.
Oh my stars!
Which
This
is
is a
what I am saying. How are they already deny physical proof that there
yeah.
is dinosaurs, and so like how
Wow.
how and so then how does they so if they are part of this fan club, this alien fan club you speak of,
And the flat
how do
earthers, I would
they
imagine.
I don't know. I don't know these people. You're the one who's in connection with all them folks.
I'm gonna have to ask, but
So you're
like
gonna have to ask these people. That's gonna be your homework. Task number one. Ask them.
task number one, ask them.
Are you religious? If so, if they you mark the yes button
I
or
mean,
box or whatever.
well, let's say the extraterrestrial was here in front of us. I mean, what was the question? What would be a question you would want to ask the alien, Lala? I mean, is there something that you would want to know? Like, I mean, this is something that I
Yeah,
don't
I
think
would say, how
many
did you
people
get
think about.
here?
I
Like it's not,
crashed,
how did
right?
I get here?
I missed
Letting
my
the days go by.
I missed my stop. That's what I think. I think he got lost. I think that
No,
alien
I
was to go to
literally
Area
want to
51.
know the science behind whatever vessel you use to travel here because I really hate waiting in airports, like for my flights. So if I could
Teleportation.
just get, yes, I am all about this teleportation. So literally, my number one question, first and foremost, how did you get here? Like, what kind of technology can you show me? What type of science is it for you to have this type of, like, how does it work? I want to know, like, the logistics, the breakdown. How did you get here? Did you use a portal? How do I use a portal? How can I access one? Can I use a
Wormholes.
portal? Yes, honey. So like how? Because I want to access these traveling
Portals.
situation so that I don't have to be at an airport
Wait,
waiting.
L. Has anybody ever been to LAX? Because yeah, I want to
Yes,
skip
I
LAX
literally
all
just
together.
went to LAX to drop off some of my neighbors. And so I just went and I was like literally I mean I took the same road that you used to drop me off last time. And then I dropped them off at the landing instead of the takeoffs because that shit would have taken like 2 hours or something. Like the traffic was so
Right, right, right.
insane. And I was like, look, if I just drop you off in the landing, like you see it's empty, I'm like, you just literally go up a flight of stairs and then you're good. They're like, oh my God, yes, this is great. And I was like, dude, trust me, I've flown a
Yeah,
lot
for
out
those
of
of
here.
you,
So
exactly. That's our little LA secret for folks who live in LA is you drop off on you do the opposite actually.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So anyway, yeah, I would literally, that would be my first question. What would your question be?
My question would be is like what do you eat when you're traveling? Like how do you like how do you like get nutrients? What is it that
So,
you're eating?
Richmo's number one thought is food. Mine is what is the science behind your travel?
Well, yeah, the science behind it. Well, here's the thing. You know what I always think about when I think of
Like,
aliens
do
and
you
stuff
have
is
in-flight menus?
my
For today's
concern is
flight to Earth, we have
yes.
hamburgers.
Well, well, here's
I
the
mean, do they
thing.
have a bev cart as well? I mean,
The thing when I think of aliens, the things I think about is I know you guys are gonna think this is kind of crazy, maybe not. The Twilight Zone. And the Twilight Zone episode I always think about is the one where the Earthlings were on the menu and the aliens came to talk to the people at the diner and everything. And then I guess, they were basically how to serve man. They thought that they were like actually, that's the cookbook at the end. It's actually a cookbook. It's not a manual to like better humanity. It was a cookbook of how to like eat us. So,
oh my
um,
God, did you see
you
the
know,
spinoff on The Simpsons about that episode?
oh no,
Yeah,
oh
there's a
no.
yes, they had an episode on The Simpsons about it. It was really funny, dude. It was hilarious.
So I'm gonna have to check that out. But those are the kinds of things that I think like. So I'm like, well, what are they actually here for? Are we going to be farmed? So in the back of my mind, yeah, there's all these like scientific and technological things that is really cool and interesting
I
because
mean,
we have a lot
okay,
of issues on Earth,
really.
right?
I'm thinking like, why do you go to a travel destination? To see what the fuck is there?
Right.
Like when I went to Tulum, why did I go the first time? Is because I'd never been there and I want to go check it out. I found out they had some cool shit. So can they also not just have like, oh yeah, it's a travel destination. Like they've apparently there's some humans up
Yeah.
in there. Like, you want to go check them out. There
Yeah.
are
Where
these
you're
herds
where
of animals that think they're like super important that nobody else that we don't exist. But we're gonna go there and we're gonna check them out. You know what I mean? Like,
and don't forget your
can it just
camouflage cloak.
yeah, and can it just be something so simple? Why does it have to be so nefarious? You know what I mean? Like,
Right, right. I guess those are my childhood horror dreams because of thank you, Twilight Zone, for all those wonderful moments in my life of being scared of aliens or the thought of
you know, the one that
something
freaked me
otherworldly.
out was the one where they're at an old folks home and then all the old folks become young people except for like one that's old and bitter. And so like I don't know why that freaked me out so much. I was
Yeah, I
like,
know which ones you're talking
oh.
about. Oh my star. I guess there's so many questions, so many
Or the one
questions.
that everybody disappears and they don't know where everybody's at. Like they just like they're just everybody's gone. And I'm like, ah, I would
So
literally
like
freak the
last
fuck out.
person on Earth. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh my stars. But
Even though
yeah,
like
finding an
it's
alien.
not
I
that I'm
mean,
not antisocial, but I am super social, but also I like to have my alone time. However, I don't want to be the only person on the planet. Like that is so I don't know why in itself it feels very claustrophobic. Like, what? I'm only gonna talk to myself? Like, I would go insane. Like, I don't know.
yeah. I mean, I guess you would go insane, but finding an alien life form, or finding like, I mean, I think that if if humans corralled like an extraterrestrial, I think human nature would be, I think they would shoot it. I think somebody would shoot it because they wouldn't know how to react. They would be scared and just rather than say, "Oh, that's like an extraterrestrial. I'm gonna like communicate with it. Like there's like could be something good to come out of it." I think that most people would be fearful and just shoot it. Not that I would do that. I would probably run. I mean, I don't know how I would react because
I
I mean,
would
I don't know.
totally have like pour myself a wine glass. Like if, for example, like in my balcony, if I was to be sitting there and it landed on one of the rooftops of the stores that are right
Yeah, yeah,
here,
just check it
I
out.
would just
Yeah, like,
literally
oh,
sit on my couch outside and just be like with my wine and just be like, ooh. what's going on? Like popping some grapes. I'm like, wow. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, that's what I do already, like, because I see all the people getting out at the club and fighting and whatever. And so literally,
Like,
I
what
just
kind of
turn
show
off
am I
the
going to see
light.
today?
Yeah, it's like,
Turn off the
oh,
light.
people are yelling, because people get out really drunk and then they start arguing. And literally, I just turn off the light to the patio, to the balcony,
And put
and
on your
then just,
binoculars.
I have binoculars.
I wasn't too far off. Here I was like, this is, I think, what Lala would do. She'd pull out some binoculars and just check it out and say, oh,
Oh,
wow, that's
I
interesting.
have some. I even see like people hiking, because on the hills, they're like I could see the trails and people hiking on the weekends. Like, mhm.
Aliens, 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 or lack thereof. I mean, people
I
have
mean,
claimed to
I
find
believe that
aliens.
there is aliens. There are aliens. However, this particular video, I don't really believe that that's what that is. And then why did you bring it up? Like, what
Well, because I was thinking about like,
did you think, like, by
it,
looking at this, what were your first thoughts when you saw
my
this?
first my first thoughts is, would people stop fighting in the world if they realized there was an extraterrestrial, like there are other life forms, that something greater than who you are, anywhere you are on the planet, because there are a lot of fights and a lot of conflict going on all over the world. And I'm not going to point out one or another or anything. There's just a lot of conflicts in general. There's a lot of shit going on in the world. And I thought, like, if this was true, would this turn the world upside down? Would there be more conflict? Would people go crazy? Or would everybody stop and say, well, we're kind of insignificant. Why are we doing this? There's something greater out
and
there.
and, and
I mean,
sing "We Are the World." We are
well, I
wait, like
mean, I
you
oh
really
that
think way too much of humanity. Honestly, I don't believe that. If we ourselves cannot even get along amongst ourselves, like,
right.
let alone, and
Well,
and and because we already think that we are the number one in the universe, like, this
we're
would
the apex
literally
predator.
hurt, it would literally hurt people's egos. Like, oh, we are not the most intelligent being in the entire universe. Like, it would literally make their heads explode. Like, literally.
I mean, I have this feeling that like that technology and aliens, they're already amongst us. I mean, I think I'm not talking about like people have conspiracies of like lizard people and stuff, like lizard, whatever. Like they have all these conspiracy
Loser
theories of
people?
lizard, like reptile
Oh,
people.
lizard. Oh, I thought you said loser.
Yeah,
Like, I'm like,
no, lizard,
losers?
lizard, reptile folk.
Ah,
But my thing
oh
is
yeah,
that
I've
like,
heard about that. I was like, what in the world is this?
yeah,
Seriously?
I I
I
kind of feel
mean,
like,
it could have been aliens. I mean, who knows?
I mean, I think there's enough technology out there that's kind of like seeping out into humanity, that we keep progressing technologically, that where's that stuff come from? I mean, are we just creating it because we're just smart? I mean, who's to say that that did? It's just like, even from the time of like a candle wick to the time you have a light bulb, to Tesla, to all these innovations they have with just electricity alone. You think that at the time, like, who would have thought that this is actually real? But cut to today, I mean, that's like a couple of 100 years ago, like long time ago. Now we're here. Now we got different technologies, with computers and AI, artificial intelligence, to, you know, there's actually a lot of good that technology can do with helping the earth, like recycling. There's a lot of good technologies out there, but it's got to come from somewhere. I mean, we're learning how to use and harness these powers to either do good or bad, because obviously people do bad. People make bombs and shit. People do things to hurt other people. But, sometimes these technologies are there for the good, right? You would think that, oh, you have nuclear power. If you had nuclear power, you could help the whole earth and get rid of, like, carbon, emissions, because nuclear power, you don't have that. You have waste. But now the nuclear, if you look into nuclear now, there are better um plants they could build that will, like, you know take care of all the excess waste. You won't have that anymore, and you can actually power the earth and not have those greenhouse gases. But I think a lot of people are scared. but we've always had this technology. Where did it come from? I mean, it had to come from somewhere, right? Like, who's creating all this stuff? You call them the scientists and people that want to learn. It's like a different
It's
language,
called the collective consciousness. I think it's where it comes from.
the collective consciousness. Please elaborate.
For example, the Wright brothers, right? Who
Hmm. Hmm.
supposedly
No pun
built.
intended. Would right, right,
But actually, the first person to build a plane was a Brazilian guy. So it was in Brazil. It
mhm.
wasn't the Wright brothers. The Wright
I was about
brothers
to say,
patented it second. So, but it was during the same time. So that's what I'm saying, in very far locations, but they're creating the same thing because it's in the collective consciousness. Just like the
mm,
pyramids right behind you. And then there's the pyramids in Egypt. Well, the
right,
pyramid behind you is Chichen Itza. And
yeah.
so, and it's like, so it's collective, like they create these similar things in very opposing, but it's because someone put it out there. And so we are energy. And so, like, it's because I read a lot of quantum physics. And so,
We are energy. I believe that. Yeah, for sure.
so in quantum physics, kind of like, for example, this one thing like Schrodinger's cat, like the cat is there if you believe it's there, but it's not there if you don't believe it's there. And so likewise, like once you put out a thought, someone else can have access to it through the collective
Manifestation.
consciousness. So
I truly
anyway,
believe that.
that's what I think is how we create this technology. Somebody else is already thinking about it. So that's why we have access to it. Whether, yes, it could be aliens. I don't believe that they like physically got it from the alien. They were like, hey, dude, like it was on the podcast. And we're like, so how is this technology? You know what I mean? Like, I don't believe
Right.
it's that way. I just think that it's because it's thought that it's already put out there in the universe that we can have access to it.
Mm, that's a good way to think. I always think about like when people say pray, I don't say pray. I manifest. For me, it's like a manifestation because
But it's
I
the
know when
same
people
thing
say,
though.
yeah,
And it's yeah,
no, and
it's the same thing. It's just that now I think it left like a really bad taste in people's mouths. Like for example, when they say God, and then instead of changing it, like now people say spirit or whatever you want to
mm,
call it, or energy, or
a
it's the
different
same goddamn
language.
thing. But I think it's
I
because it's
believe
it's
so.
left such a bad taste in our mouth, these particular words that we attach to the same concept, then that's why it's got a negative connotation. I mean, for me, it does. Like people are like, "Oh, do you believe in God?" And I'm like, "Well, not the God you think of in the way you think of it's this masculine person." Like, no, that's not how I think of
Mm,
it. I just really think of just collective consciousness where there are particles and waves, and the particle appears when the thought occurs, and it appears at that particular location. Otherwise, it's there and it's not there all at the same time.
mm.
It's,
I
it's
mean, I
basic
always,
physics.
yeah. I mean, I
Like
have some friends who are very religious, and they're like, I'm going to pray for you guys, or like when I'm around them, they pray, and I'm like, I know I have a lot of friends who are also not very religious, and I always just say,
I
if I
meditate
want to think,
instead of
I
praying. I
meditate
meditate. So it's
or
it's the
I
same, but
manifest some
it's
good thoughts. Yeah,
yes,
you're
it's
putting
the
energy out into the world.
exactly. It's the same freaking concept, except that I cringe when people say that to me because I think of this manipulative religion who tries to brainwash people into believing that men are super and females are not, and this patriarchy. And so for me, it just leaves a very bad taste in my mouth. So
Wait,
I cringe when people say that because I literally connect it to those religions that we have, that it's all patriarchal. And it's just like, no, we don't live in those centuries anymore. Like, let's just update,
no, we have
okay?
the religion of Lala now. Yeah, I get it.
Like, let's update to Religion of Lala 2.0.
Yeah, but yeah, no, I totally get that, and it's just like how it's interesting. It's interesting thought of the alien idea and the collective consciousness and how we actually get our technology and how we function as a society and a people. But I mean, I'm just imagining that there is an alien and that somebody did discover it or they did come. Like, it's not like Mars attacks. Obviously, Mars in the movie Mars Attacks, the aliens attack. But if they didn't, how would, people react? Would they flock to religion? Would they like stop going to church? Or would they be more church going? Would they be more
I think
zealous?
that they would be
Like
more
scared?
church going. Believe it or not, I don't know why I think this. Like, I really don't have any
Well, I
pun
would think that,
intended faith in humanity.
oh my God. Well, I think that like I think it's natural to go with the comfort, or the idea of something that they already know. Whereas an alien is foreign, you don't know anything about it, you don't know what they're here for, and we won't know. We don't know if they have like ulterior motives, if they want to use us as food, or what they want to do. Do they want to impart knowledge? Do they want to help us? I don't. There's so many questions
What
that
about
you could
they're
have
just
as a
on
whole.
vacation and this was just
Yeah,
their
they just want
vacation
to check out the
destination?
waves. They want to see the rat, the
They're
forest. They
like, we
want to,
we
yeah,
heard about these creatures that live on Earth.
yeah. And so I think people just want what's in their comfort zone, and they kind of flock. They either flock to it or just own it all together as like I was wrong my whole life. I've been doing this for like, 50, 40, 30, 60 years or however,
And
however somebody
honestly,
long has
I
been in
don't even
religion.
think people would even admit to that because from what I've seen, people who are wrong will not
Don't want to
admit that
acknowledge.
they were wrong. Mm-mm. Nope. It literally
I
will
mean,
kill them. I literally knew
uh,
somebody who died because they couldn't admit that they had issues. So,
mm.
so they died instead. I'm like, oh, well, so how far you're
Well,
willing to take it. So,
they're not aliens. It's made up. It's a joke. And they probably keep going like that, much like flat earthers. I mean, I don't know. I guess if you really truly believe that the earth is flat or that there are aliens or not aliens, if you strongly believe it, much like you said earlier, if you believe the cat's there, then it's there. If you don't believe
yeah,
it's there, maybe it's not.
it's not.
It's like
Yeah.
it's like the whole thing is, if a tree falls in the forest and you're not here to listen to it, does it make a sound? I don't know.
Yes. It's yeah, like this
That's the whole thing.
philosophical. Yeah, we're getting
Yeah.
in this particular video, I don't think that's what happened. I really don't.
Mm.
I would believe more, honestly, that it's a freaking ghost than
We'll link the
an
video, folks.
alien.
Mm.
Why
Well, I
what I
mean,
wanted to know was how did they jump automatically to aliens? If I heard something in my house, I wouldn't just be like, "Oh my God, it's aliens." I would just think automatically, "Oh my God, my cat just knocked something out." I wouldn't think ghosts because my cat goes around the house knocking shit over while I'm sleeping, and so it's just like, God damn it. So
right,
I have to
right, right.
like, so I wouldn't jump automatically. Like I wouldn't wake up and be like, "Oh my God, I have aliens in my house." I wouldn't make that jump from A to Z like that. So that's why I'm
Mm.
asking why? Why?
I mean, I don't know
I think so.
if you said, oh, there was a shadow on the fence, nobody's gonna click that. But if you say we saw an alien and it was behind the fence and we got it, and all of a sudden
Yes,
everybody's like, oh,
yes,
it's
yes.
something
I
to.
agree with you on that. Yeah. And that makes a lot more sense than because otherwise, like I would have just been like, and how the guy was explaining it, there was a lot of shadows. And so you know what shadow does, like if you put the sh like the light source from the bottom up, it creates a higher, taller shadow. You know what I mean? So like there's so many, I mean, and the way he said, like, yeah, well, it does look like it's a person, but the fence is not 10 feet tall because the guys are literally just slightly
Mm.
shorter than that fence. Did you look at
And as
that?
a matter of fact, yeah,
So
yeah,
no.
I could see that. But did you see the animation they created with the alien structure?
Yeah, and that is really stupid. That is
Right? It's
honestly,
just
that's
like,
why I was just like, what is this? And this is when you send it to me, and I was like, you gotta be kidding me. Like, if you give me like the thing that Oscar sent us the link to the Mexican where they had the conference in Mexico, and then they had actual
bones
like
and
in una
yeah,
vitrina, how is it called? A glass case? Una
in a
vitrina?
glass a sarcophagus. It was in a glass sarcophagus. It was in a sarcophagus covered in glass.
Uh-huh.
So, it's in
Yes.
his tomb, but they
And
had it
so
like
it's
so you could
there
see it.
and then everybody had access to it who was in the conference. I mean, it was with the
And there were
Mexican
scientists.
government and there's scientists, and so it's just like it's not a shadow and then it could just be anything. You know what I mean? Like They didn't jump
And for
from like zero to aliens for no reason. It's because there was actually an alien in their presence. Like they
yes,
can actually look at, come up to, analyze, whatever.
and,
So
and
like,
for those folks that didn't don't know what we're talking about, there was maybe we'll link that here there to that
yeah,
other
we can
that
we
was
can
kind of
link
crazy.
our episode where we discussed that.
And when I saw like the Mexican government, when there's an actual government inviting other governments to go over there, I mean, the one that wasn't, I don't know if the US was present. I don't think so. But there are other scientists that were present there, like looking at this stuff, and it's just like really taking it seriously. And there are
Yeah.
other people that are really dismissing it like a hoax, like, oh, that's not real. Then why would the government be having this conference and like it's a press conference, like making it open? I don't think they want to make themselves a laughing stock of the world by no means, you know. And yeah, it is kind of far
And
fetched, and
there
it is
there
kind of like,
were representatives of the United States military, like retired military, that went and actually were at the
mm,
conference. So it wasn't, and then there was like people from Japan, Brazil. There was like from various from France. You know.
yeah, there's an organization called To the Stars from, run by the front man of the Bleak 182 band, Tom DeLonge. And I'm sure those guys were there. I think one of the guys that's part of that group from To the Stars, because that organization is actually actively looking for UFOs and intelligent life forms. They're the ones that broke like some of I guess it was classified UFO stuff where they were tracking
Hmm.
something and they couldn't really figure it out. And but those are the kinds of things that come out where people kind of like don't give it a lot of importance and they kind of like want it to. I almost feel like they want to go away because they don't want to startle anybody or just like, oh no, like don't look there, look over here. There's something else going on. They're not. But it's actually a kind of big moments in history. It's like in essence, there are organizations out there that are bringing, kind of these UFOs and sightings and things to the forefront. And there are obviously groups and people and shows. You see documentaries all the time. Oh, alien abduction, alien this, alien that. And then, I don't know if it's just that we're, getting used to it because when you have an event like the one that was in Mexico City and in Mexico we have a government like kind of showing the world and like saying, you know what, do your own test. We're here. This is open. It's not a lie. We're
Hmm.
not going to hold this from you. We're going to show it to you. You have
Right.
questions, here you go. Rate carbon, date it, do whatever you want with it. It's available for you. And then you
Right.
have like governments or people going like, yeah, it's nothing. It's a hoax. It can't be, it's just like, and then you have that on the mainstream media. You kind of like dismiss it, And the reality is like, how can you dismiss something like that
They
on the, when I
dismissed
call
that, but then they watched this video of this really super just
yeah,
nondescript whatever. That
exactly.
that's what I'm just like, okay, whatevs.
But I gotta say, I mean, like I actually believe there is extraterrestrials. I don't disagree. And maybe I'll get invited and maybe Lala will all go to like Puebla or some place where there are there's these groups that go out there and they actually, chant and meditate, quote unquote meditate, and they try to communicate with the otherworldly beings. They try to like manifest energy. And according to them, they do have some interactions sometimes. And it's like very brief, but they have interactions. So um maybe sooner rather than later it's something to do this year and check it out and maybe see how crazy it is and maybe they're all crazy, maybe they are crazy, maybe you meet these people and you're like, what did I just get myself into? And then maybe not,
Right.
maybe they're onto something, maybe you will get your answer to teleportation before you know it.
Ugh.
But
Honestly, I seriously would just be like, I really would. I really think that I would be that person, like with my clipboard and notepad, just like, how do I make this happen? Who do I contact to give this information to so that they can create this for me so that I can just no longer need to wait at airports. Like, how do I just get from
teleportation,
LAX to Juneau like that in
oh
an
my gosh.
instant?
All the sci-fi movies I've always seen are just like it's either Star Trek where you actually teleport, And then there's other things where people try to teleport, and then it's like they come out all messed up, like it doesn't work. The reconfiguration doesn't work. And coming back, so
Like The
people's got like
Fly.
weird body.
The
Yes.
Fly. No. Okay, that one was weird. Honestly, I was so scared when I saw that movie. I was like a little kid and I was just like, like it really freaked me out. I was just like, I thought it was like the grossest thing on the planet. Like just gross. But yeah.
But unfortunately, we will not be using teleportation, so we don't have to worry
That's
about that
that's
for now.
old that's old school technology. That's why I'm
That's
gonna
old
get the
technology.
lowdown. Don't worry, folks. I'm going to interview this alien that gets here. I'm gonna have my paper notepad. I'm gonna record it. I'm gonna have everything ready to get the technology so we can get it and not turn into flies.
Awesome. All right, folks. Well, you heard it here first. We're gonna get that info.
Yeah, so folks out there, I'm gonna start traveling again. So we're actually gonna kind of gear our podcast not like travel destinations, but like a lot of the things like we're gonna do like locations here in LA because we're based out of LA and like just local things that you can do, little gems that even people who grew up in LA haven't even gone to see, And so like for example, Rich has never been to Catalina Island and
Oh my
he's from
stars.
here.
We have an island and we're not using it. It's just like, huh? What do you mean? You're that I like,
I've been using
you
it,
don't have
but
you
and
well, like what
especially
I'm saying
because
is
you're
you
such
have to
a
get on a
and like
plane.
especially because you're such a big into fishing and I'm like, "Oh my God, dude, I would have thought that you would be the one who would
I've
like,
ac- I've
I don't
actually been
know.
around the island. I've been around the island, but I've never been on the island. So it's like
You haven't
it's not
actually
like
stepped
actually go.
foot in it."
Yeah. So until next time, this is
This is
Richmo,
Lala. Oh,
and we'll talk to you soon.
oh, and also, by the
What
way,
happened?
also, please don't forget to rate and review us. In order for us to come up in all of the platforms that you listen to as suggestions and to grow our audience, reviews are really, really, really necessary. And so if you can please leave us a positive review. To follow us, you can go to whathahappened.com for a link to all of our social media and to read our bios.
If you would like us to read your story,
May it be funny or scary or just some hot cheese, may.
please email us at stories@whathappened.com.